Well, good afternoon. Food for thought, folks. Looks like Minneapolis has gone and done it. As opposed to defunding the police, let's go ahead and disband the police. I don't know how well thought that out was, but we'll see what happens in the coming days, weeks, and months. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it. How do you disband the police? It's not like you can just pull a plug out and say, okay, guys, thanks, good game, thanks for playing, go home to your families, nothing to see here, move along. Doesn't quite work like that. So defunding, or let's use a better word, reallocation would probably be better, because if you defunding, that means you're going to just take money from the current budget and redistribute it someplace else, as opposed to reallocating it, which is what should really be done. If you're going to reallocate funds that are already been earmarked for the police and say, you know what, instead of the however many millions or billions of dollars it's going to go to fund the police, we're going to take a certain amount out and we're going to send it to some other place. So if we're going to make it available for communities, that's great. If you already have something in place and you just need to move funds there and you've already got the people and you already have a plan of how you want to spend it, that's fine. If you haven't, now you're going to have to take funds away, come up with a committee, have people who are going to be now in charge of the reallocated funds, which in theory is going to cost you more money in the long run, because now you have to set up something. If something's already set up, it's easier for you. You just give them the money and let them go. Now, you have to figure, how is the money going to be allocated? Where is it going? What about the oversight? Who's going to be in charge of it? Who's going to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go? But, I digress. We're not talking about defunding. Minneapolis has decided to take the lead and work on disbanding the police. So how does that work? Are we just going to all of a sudden decide, let's get rid of the police department, shut the lights off, close the doors, lock it, have a nice day, we're done here? I think it's going to have to be something structured that's going to happen over a transitional period. There's no way you can just tell police officers, don't come to work tomorrow because there's no work for you guys anymore. It doesn't work like that. You literally are going to have a phased transition period so that now we don't need as many police officers. Okay, so where do you make the cuts? Do you start with the patrol division? Do you start with the detective division? Do you start with the traffic division? Do you start with DARE? Where do you make the cuts? And so, regardless of where you make the cuts, everybody's not going to be happy. People are not going to be, appeased. You draw a line in the sand, and then what? So honestly, disbanding the police is probably not, in my opinion, a good idea. I'm not in charge of a police force, but let's be realistic. If you decide to cut in the patrol area, that means longer response times when people dial 911. And when you think about it, who does that hurt? That doesn't hurt the one percenters who can afford their own private security details 24/7 wherever they go. They've got people around to help them. That doesn't hurt those people. That hurts the other 99%. People who really need a police response. It's going to take longer because you have fewer police officers patrolling the streets. So you're going to cut back on the officers. You're going to cut back on police cars. You're going to cut back on equipment. So since you don't have as much, so you don't have as many police cars available, you're not going to have to worry about maintenance. Your fleet is going to get cut by a certain percentage. You're not going to have to spend so much for gas, maintenance. There's a lot of cuts that are going to actually happen, but at the end of the day, what are you really trying to tell people? We're going to disband the police. I'm pretty sure the police unions are going to have a lot to say about that. They're not going to take that lying down. And so police unions are going to say, well, we need police officers because of X, Y, and Z. Well, how about this, police unions? What probably should have happened was you should have found a way to get rid of the bad officers. Now, the pendulum, in my opinion, has swung too far in one direction. So now that you've got the pendulum swinging so far in one direction, it's going to be hard to come back. Now, Minneapolis is going to be the test bed, it seems, although Los Angeles and New York are still kicking around the idea of defunding police. They're not going to disband the police in New York City or LA. Those are the two largest departments in the country. They have tens of thousands of officers and their budget exceeds billions of dollars annually. So they're not going to just break up the police force. They're not going to disband those guys. It's not going to happen. And if you do disband the police, what is the alternative? What are you telling your constituents is going to be put in place? Okay, we're going to get rid of the police as we know it and replace it with what? Okay, if you get rid of the guys that currently are on the force, that means you're going to have to retrain some new people. That's going to take time and money, and you're going to have to hire them. Or you could use your existing police force and try to weed out those bad apples. The problem is nobody wants to talk about the bad apples. Everybody wants to cover for each other. Wrong answer. You can't cover for bad police officers. They should be outed and fired. Union, y'all just gonna have to figure out how to get it done. So the police unions don't exist if there's no police department. So it's sort of like what happened years ago when General Motors decided, you know what, we're going to cut back so deep that it's going to just crush everybody. Well, the United Auto Workers had to take it in the short hair. So they're like, look, what are we going to do? You can't get dues and fees from union members if you don't have a job. So the UAW got crushed. And it's no different than police unions. You guys are going to get crushed if you don't try to figure out a way to out those bad police officers. You out the bad police officers, weed out the bad apples, or you yourselves will be in the unemployment line. Somebody else will hire you, yes. But the average police officer does not have the ability to just pick up and move tomorrow. Sorry, dear, I just lost my job. We're going to leave right now. No, not if you have a house that you're paying a mortgage on, which means you have to sell it, find a buyer, and then go someplace else. It's not that easy. So what's going to happen in these communities? Okay, longer police response, if at all. Okay, I can just imagine it goes like this. 911, what is your emergency? Oh, yes, we have a report of a shooting, a stabbing. We have shots fired in progress. Can you send somebody out? And the 911 dispatcher says, yes, we're sending thoughts and prayers your way. Thank you. Click. Thoughts and prayers is not going to work when there's shots fired. You got to duck and cover, and maybe you can get through this. So you're going to defund the police. Well, I hope they have some extra funding for the coroner's office, because they're going to need more people, because there's going to be a lot more dead bodies piling up. I don't know if this was the best solution going forward. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to a problem that has been boiling under the surface for decades. You're not going to fix this overnight, just like it wasn't started overnight. It's been just coming to a head, and now this is what the city of Minneapolis has decided to do. Good luck, guys.